All right, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekak Wadash, for allowing me to do another lesson. Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and there's no God beside them. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for being faithful witnesses to the Holy Spirit, and salutations to the elect, whom the Most High have given ears to hear. And this lesson is inspired by the elder brother Monagan. Subscribe to his page. The brother's always edifying in his lessons. And he was going into how Asherite, as you see the title, Asherite lost some friends and never heard the name. And I believe this is from the camp that they do on Tuesdays. And at this time, you had an Asherite that came to talk to brothers. And I think right before he came to talk to brothers, he saw the IUIC, and how he was saying that out of what he learned from the IUIC, he don't remember hearing about the name. Whereas when you talk to us, that's one of the main things we speak about is the name. Every few seconds, the brother's speaking on Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So much so that a lot of times a newcomer will ask, what is that name you keep saying? And I'm guessing he heard about the truth, and he's learning, there by the title that the elder put is Asherite lost some friends, because when you come into this truth, a lot of people is not going to rock with you. You let your beard grow, you don't get shape ups. All right, you stop doing the things of the world. The things of the world actually begin to vex you. All right, you're very judgmental, and the world, they don't like to be judged because they know they don't like to be judged. All right, they just like to continue on in their wickedness. But hey, happy are ye, as scriptures say, happy are ye when men speak evil of you for truth's sakes. Let's grab that. Salaki, I don't have my garment on. I actually just want to show my face real quick and just turn off the camera. But I just try to have a camera on my face. As the scriptures say, that I shall see thy teachers. Nevertheless, as we go to Matthew 5 and verse 10, it says, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sakes, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And we are in this situation because we went away from the Lord. Right? So essentially, when we come back to him, in the midst of a people that's staying away from the Lord, you're going to catch some slack. When we come back to the light in the midst of a world of darkness, you're going to catch some slack. You're going to stand out. And when I was thinking upon this lesson, I was thinking about the word amath, meaning truth. All right. And when you go into truth, or when you go into, like, you got to stand in the world, numbers don't lie. Right. And when you go into integers, negative and positive, I'm gonna just play this short and we're gonna get into it.
Number is just where you're starting. So -3, when you're adding and subtracting negative numbers, you want to think about a number line. Your first number is just where you're starting. So -3, add 8. We're going to start at -3, and when we add, we go to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 5. -4, add -2. Now, when you've got two symbols right next to each other like that, an add and a subtract, it becomes a take away. So we've got -4, take away 2. So we'll start at -4, we'll take away 2, which takes us to the left, and that one is -6. And again, we've got two symbols together here, and two minuses together make a plus. 5 add 3, start at 5, go 3 to the right, and that's 8.
Right. Now, the reason why I played this is, because the elder Yashwan, the elder Monaghan, he brought out a lot of beautiful points. He was going into how coming to this truth, especially if you're someone who's have been close to your family. You have friends, you have care of the world, you have care of what people think of you. And it's essentially a demon, because these people don't know how to judge. So if you're judging yourself based upon their judgment, you already in the negative. All right, but going into this short, it shows you that if you're in the negative, again, the negative in this instance would be having a mindset of the world, right? And you do more positive, right? You stay away from you abstain from your fleshy lusts. You abstain from people that have the mindset of the flesh, right? You hang out with more men of the spirit. You're gonna come out with a positive outcome, right? As you see the first example, -3 plus 8. All right, a negative, you have more of a positive than you do a negative, and your outcome would be a positive number. But then on the second example, if you add in a negative number to a negative number, you're gonna get another negative number. So if you're hanging out with people of the world so much, which it's nothing wrong with, hanging out with family, but understand that too much of it can lead to your downfall. You're adding a negative to a negative situation. You're coming out of this world. You're coming out of this world to where, let's say you got 6 months in the truth and you're 20 years old. You got 20 years of negativity clogged, on your mind. All right. And the scriptures state to the scriptures give us, different rules, or different words of wisdom to have a positive outcome, right? I think it's in Sirach where it speaks about, it says be continually with a godly man. Right? Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 37, verse 11, verse 10. Right now it says, consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. Right? Again, beautiful words of wisdom from when you read the prologue of Sirach. I want to say it was either Sirach or his, let's see real quick. The prologue of the wisdom of Jesus, or Joshua, the son of Sirach. Whereas many and great things have been delivered unto us by the law and the prophets, and by others that have followed their steps. For the which things Israel ought to be commended for learning and wisdom, whereof not only the readers must needs become skillful themselves, but also they that desire to learn be able to profit them, which are without, both by speaking and writing. My grandfather Jesus, when he had much gave himself to the reading of the reading of the law, and prophets and other books of our fathers, and had gotten therein good judgment, was drawn on also himself to write something pertaining to learning and wisdom. All right. So this man, Joshua, which is not the Yahweh Shai, because you see the word Jesus, that was a common name. You had Joshua, which, without going too far off topic, Joshua in the New Testament will also be known as Jesus when you go into Acts 7th chapter. Right? That was a common name. All right. But the point of me reading this is to show you that this book, Sirach, is a book of wisdom. Where the book of Ecclesiasticus, so sometimes brothers call it Sirach, is a book of wisdom, in which he compiled by learning from the wisdom of his forefathers. Right? So now when we go back to Sirach 37 and 12, it says, verse 11, neither consult with a woman. Let's start at 10 actually. Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward in matters of war, nor with a merchant concerning exchange, nor with a buyer of selling, nor with an envious man of thankfulness, nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness. All right? Because this goes to show you, in other words, going into the example I just brought out, if you consult with a man, all right, that's clearly not of good intention, he's going to give you a bad advice. That's a takeaway. All right, that's a positive. When you add a negative, all right, now you're going into a deficit. It says, nor with an envious man of thankfulness, nor with unmerciful men touching kindness, nor with slothful for any work, nor with an hireling for a year finishing work, nor with an idle servant of much business, hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel. All right, because essentially you're asking for failure. Right? And when it comes into this truth, you don't ask a worldly man for godly wisdom. For example, you talking to your boy, you talking about this girl that like you or that you like, but she got a man. He's going to tell you he's going to give you advice that leads to death. He's going to tell you to go ahead, get that. She ain't married, is she? Or he's going to tell you some bullshit as like, if she was happy, if her man was doing right at home, she wouldn't be looking the other way. Meanwhile, godly men, all right, adding a positive to a positive, all right, here it is, you're already inquiring what you should do in this situation, showing you have some fear. All right, he's going to tell you to stay away from that. It tells us in Proverbs 6 that basically you're on a bad path if you're a man that be given it into adultery. Right? The Lord is going to be on your ass, and that man is going to be on your ass too. The man by whom you have trespassed or transgressed. I'm trying to say two words in one. It says, but be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. And we can go on and on about not adding a negative to a positive, or not adding a negative to a negative situation. All right. Now we all have particular hobbies outside of the truth, which most likely is of the flesh. But it should always be characterized, or it should always be seasoned with salt, seasoned with wisdom. Always asking you how Bashim Yahushai to help you to take heed to your ways. All right, and I'll say this, if you go to work, if you do decide to go hang out with some family members or whatever the case may be, put up a prayer. All right, because you stepping into a den of dragons when you enter into that realm. Nevertheless, as we read, but be continually with a godly man whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. All right, or they'll get on your ass if you should miscarry. According to wisdom. And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it. For a man's mind is sometimes wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in an high tower. All right, and a lot of times your flesh, what the scriptures say, how I think it's in Jeremiah, how mine is desperately wicked. All right, so if you're going after another man, or if you're going after the advice of another man whose mind is after his flesh, then you're adding a negative to a negative. And above all this, pray to the Most High that He will direct thy way in truth. And a lot of times I've noticed to where you have certain people, they could be on their stroll, but they come across us, and they could be there listening, then they have their chance to speak. And even brothers can attest, a lot of the questions that they have, a lot of the shit they was going through is being spoken of in the spirit. That's the Lord directing your way in truth. That's Him adding a positive. That's Him adding wisdom, all right, to your already negative situation. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let me actually grab this one. All right, this is 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 1. For as much then as Yahweh shall have suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of God. All right, knowing that in the end thereof, the Most High is going to tally up our test scores, so to speak. Because our actions, the same action leads to a habit. Now, you can form good habits or bad habits. And the bad habits constantly leaning upon the flesh is going to lead you to take the chip. It's going to lead you to be destroyed, which is going to lead you to be destroyed. For in the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, with revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries. All right, translating into today, in the past, right, you would be all about defiling your temple, all right, doing drugs. In the past, you thought nothing of eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You thought nothing of celebrating Esau's holidays. You thought nothing of partying every day, partying every weekend, right? You thought nothing of as the scriptures say, banquetings, excess of wine. All right, you were an American. All right, or wherever brothers may come from. All right, which these names given to us comes through the devil himself. Right, a man who's given to the flesh. But I digress. Wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riots, speaking evil of you, who should give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead. For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to God in the spirit. All right? Because, you shall get judged by men. All right? But these men that the Lord put down here shall live in the spirit. They shall live according to this word. Right? Which in the end thereof, you'll be happy to have listened to him. All right? As it is written, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and strength of salvation. And the Lord said that he give these pastors according to his heart that will feed you with knowledge and understanding. All right. So by you listening to the men of the Lord, all right, which that will entail you losing some negatives, or you could look at it, or you could look at it as you gaining. Right? Because as she wrote, when you look at the scale, all right, you losing some negatives, meaning you're going more towards the positives. Whereas when you gaining some negatives, you're going further into the negative. You're going further into a deficit. Right? So I'll finish it off here. Luke 21:19. 21:17. Damn. Whew. 21:16. Even your parents and the other people in your family, and this is in an easy English, will bring you in front of kings and rulers. They will kill some of you. Everybody will hate you because you are obeying me. But your life will be safe with me. You will not lose even one hair from your head. Yes, you will really live if you never stop obeying me. So with that, shalom to the elect.